Once you feel your hips are level, elongate from pelvis to crown. And without really changing your breath just yet, first arrive. So you're certain that you're comfortable. You feel the ground underneath of you supporting you. Adjusting your head so it's perched right on top of your spine. And maybe move your jaw around a little bit to release any tension that might be there in your face, your cheeks. And let your tongue just lay in the bottom of your mouth. You might even separate your teeth a little bit just to hopefully create a sense of ease, at one end of your spine, and let that ease kind of, permeate through your entire being. Your throat's relaxed. And then start to cultivate a little more, of a full breath. Think of a spherical, three-dimensional breath. And use your nose. So unless your nose is plugged up, stay connected to inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your nose. And let the breath be full. And you might stay right there, just working on, dirga, like cultivating, accessing your entire lung capacity. Your chest stays still. You feel that your belly expand, your ribs broaden. And using your nose to breathe. If it works, add the ujjayi sound. So that little constriction in the back of your throat. And let that sound, kind of permeate through your entire being. There's a little vibration. It can be soft or it can be strong. But let it feel like it's sort of stirring up. Breathing through your nose warms and prepares the air, makes it a little more moist to go into your lungs. And there are turbines behind your nose, and actually your sinus cavity is about as big as your fist. It's hard to believe, but it's true. It is preferred, your body prefers you to breathe through your nose. Feel that. Now you can stay with this, with the dirga breath. With the ujjayi sound, dirga and ujjayi. Working on using your nose, relaxing your throat. I'm going to offer today an alternate nostril Kapalabhati. So you'll use one hand to alternatively close off one nostril. So if it works for you, let's take either hand and close off your right nostril. And then it's a short expulsion through your left. And just let the air come in passively. Stay on that left nostril just a couple of times. So your spine still stays still, and it's like you're blowing out a candle just with your left nostril only. Now you don't, the inhale is passive, so it's not an active inhale. It's a short expulsion, and then a passive inhale. And then when you're ready, go ahead and switch. Close the left nostril off with either hand, any finger, and practice just the short little expulsion through your right nostril. It's kind of a strong expulsion. This is a really great way to strengthen your diaphragm and your deep respiratory muscles. And then once you're kind of practiced on both sides, close the right nostril and do 4 expulsions through your left nostril. And then 4 expulsions through your right nostril. And you can keep going that way. If it works, you expel and then release the nostril. You close the nostril and release. So you practice letting go and letting the inhale be passive. And then 4 on the other side. So you close your left nostril and then let it go. Stay on that right side and then let it go. And then maybe take it down to 2 expulsions. So you close the right nostril, let go and let the air come in, close it again, let go and let the air come in, and then switch. Close the left nostril and let the air come in, close and let the air come in, and then if it works, go down to 1. So you close your right nostril, let it go, close the left nostril, let it go, and you end up alternating back and forth. Stay with this. It's a little puzzle for your brain to figure out. Keep using your nose, right? So your mouth stays, your lips can stay closed. Do it a few more times, alternating nostrils. And if you're like, Pam, I don't like this, then if it's not working for you, stay with Dirga and Ujjayi. If you can pick your pace up a little bit, let's all take a deep breath in through both nostrils. Now exhale through your mouth. Hold your breath out. And while you're holding your breath out, stay there and just watch. Something will shift and the hunger for breath will rise. Can you watch that energy shift? Initially it feels sweet, and then there's like a drive to breathe. Watch it for as long as you can, and then inhale through your nose and hold your breath in one more time. And on this internal kumbhak, the internal kumbhak feels different than the external. Hold your breath in for as long as you can. Watch the need to breathe rise. There's like this urgency that will breathe. How long can you watch? It's a disturbance. How long can you watch that disturbance and know that at any time you can let go? Let things move. Pranayama stirs things up. And then when you need to breathe, let go. Bring your hands to your heart. Honor yourself for showing up to your mat. Right, and acknowledge dedication for your practice. Know that those seeds of intention are so important. Right? What is it you're working to create, to sustain, to let go of? Maybe you want to dedicate your practice to someone else who needs light, love, faith. And know that those thoughts, they become things. Water it with your breath. As you inhale, press into your knees, rise up into a kneeling sun breath. And as you exhale, round down into sort of a child's pose. Do this 2 more times. Stand out of your knees. Inhale and rise up. And exhale and round down. Do that 1 more time. It's kind of slow. Fill your lungs up, lifting your arms, drive your hips forward, open your chest, and then exhale, close, rounding your belly to your thighs and giving yourself a hug. And this time as you inhale, stretch up, separate your knees a little bit, clasp your fingers, press your palms straight up, a little kind of a kneeling back bend. And as you exhale, round your upper back knuckles forward. Inhale, lift and open. Nice. And exhale, round. Do that 2 more times. So you stand out of your knees as you lift and open. And then you it's a kneeling cat, basically. You're rounding and reaching your knuckles forward. And inhale, lift. Nice. And this time release your arms down behind you and take a sort of a backstroke with your arms. And you can follow, your head can turn, you're standing pretty strong out of your knees. Now, can you slow this down enough to feel that your arms are moving almost like a nice straight line with each other, so that when one arm is at 12 o'clock, the other one is at 6. When one arm is at 9, the other one is at 3. And go through that in a way that you're really trying to feel balance. Okay, so you're not leaving one arm behind. Sometimes we pay attention a lot to the one that's in front of us or the one that's overhead, and then the arm that is behind or the arm that is down toward the floor gets lost. Can you feel a synchronized sort of action? Easy neck. Nice. And then bring both hands down to your mat, into table. Tuck your toes under and rock your hips back towards your heels. Crawl your fingers forward so you have sort of this nice long, almost like you look like you're getting ready to pounce. And press into your heels as much as it will allow, spreading your toes, giving some, energy to your feet. Now pull yourself forward, shoulders over your wrists, and then press back and pull forward. So this little rocking motion. Really feel as you transition your body weight back and forth, how you're shifting weight back to your toes, and then forward onto your fingerprints. Back to your toes, and forward onto your fingerprints. Smooth breath. And then pull forward, shoulders over wrists, lift your feet, circle your ankles around, really big. Let's take the top of your feet and pat them. Pat them pretty vigorously, like to make them tingle. Let your feet be super loose. For those of you who've done coat sleeves with me, right, or breath of joy, where your arms are really loose, let your feet be loose and pat them pretty vigorously. And then bring your knees together. Curl your right heel toward your bottom and look over your right shoulder. Find that foot. So you sweep the foot to the side. This is kind of like wagging your tail. Think of your right shin and foot being a tail. And then sweep it across, looking over your left shoulder to find your foot. So Rebecca, this is a little like what Maverick was just wagging his tail on the screen. Such a happy dog, right? As you wag your foot side to side, feel lateral flexion in your spine. Now move some air. So in and out through your nose. And then pause and come to stillness. Keep your right heel curled to your bottom. Flex your foot, press your right heel straight up toward the ceiling. Spread your toes nice and wide. And as you press your right heel up, press into your right hand. Unload weight out of your left hand. Reach your left fingers forward on the floor and lift your left arm next to your ear. Stretch your right leg out long and then pull the elbow and the knee toward each other underneath your body. Reach the arm and leg out long. Do this a few times. Curl it in and press it away. Do this 2 more times. Exhale as your elbow comes toward your knee. Inhale as you stretch it away. 1 more time. Pull it in and stretch it away. Lower your hand to the floor. Open the right leg wide to the side. Put your foot on the floor in line with your left knee. Walk your fingers forward again in that sort of pounced position. Lower your elbows. Let your forehead rest this time. Now find a position with your right foot where you can kind of plant that foot flat to the floor. It can turn your toes out a little bit, or you can have your toes forward. Check out your left thigh. Make sure it's perpendicular to the floor. Let's take 2 more deep breaths. And then climb back up onto your hands. Press into your right hand again. Open your left arm up and then weave your left arm through the hole toward your right foot. Inhale to open and exhale, weave it through. Do this 2 more times. Remember, deep breaths, really deep breaths. And feel the ground, right, standing out of your left knee. When you weave your left arm through this time, land your left shoulder, if that feels okay. If your shoulder doesn't quite land, keep body weight in your right hand and relax your head. Press into the left forearm. You'll just be there for a few breaths. If you land your shoulder, walk your right fingertips out in front. Take one more full breath. Nice. And then bring your right hand back. Use it to press into and unwind. Now keep that right leg right there. Lift it up like 2 to 3 inches off of the floor. And then place it back down. Now when you lift it up, notice if you're shifting your hips over to the left. Can you stay balanced, standing out of your left knee, and float the right foot just a little bit, and then place it down. Probably pressing pretty strong into your right hand. Do it one more time. Float and place. Now come all the way up tall into kneeling. Turn your right toes out to the side. Bend the right knee and come back up. Nice. So your heel is pretty much in line with your left knee. Now you're letting the left leg abduct to the side. This is kind of a side kneeling warrior. So bend your right knee and I'll park it pretty much over your ankle. Press the back of your right forearm into your knee. Open your left arm up. So feel that your left fingertips are reaching as far away from your right foot as possible. Take one more full breath here. Nice. And then come back up tall, open your arms wide in T. Turn your right foot forward or plant it so that it's like 45 degrees. Now tip away from your right leg. Nice. And feel this big wing, expansion through your arms. Shoulder blades hugging together. Easy neck. And as you stand out of your left knee, press strong into your right foot. And then think of the really old ornate gates. Right, this left leg is so strong. Drive your knee down into the floor, and then windmill around. Again, arms are moving kind of, like a bar, and then your left arm stretches overhead, and your right forearm can help you to drop the right thigh down. So we're going to move it out 2 more times. Feel wingspan here. Arms in line with your shoulders. Tip away. Lateral flexion in your spine. Come back up. Let the right forearm drop into your right hip crease and the left arm reach. Do that one more time. So imagine going through this huge, like you're trying to describe a huge sphere when you pull away from the right foot. Anchor your right foot strong, stand out of your left knee, and then sweep up and over. So Padagustasana was sort of this old bars, on those big old doors where the metal, right, is your legs. One foot attached to one door and one knee attached to the other door, and your upper body nice and free and open. Nice. And then come back up to center. Tip over. This is your last move in the sequence. Tip over and very lightly land your left hand on the floor. And then come back up out of the left hand. Whew. Lower the left hand soft to the floor, not much body weight in it, and then lift the left hand off of the floor. Nice. So strong in the left knee. Feel your core body working here. Pick the left hand up just a little bit. Your arms are right out at shoulder height. One more. Nice. And then lower your left hand, lower your right hand. Come back to table, bring your knees in. Circle your hips all around your knees. Take deep breaths here. And go ahead and reverse in the other direction. Beautiful. Bring yourself to center, knees together. You gotta wag your tail on the other side. Curl your left heel tight to your bottom. Sweep your left foot out to the left as you look to the left over your shoulder and find the foot, and over to the right. So this is basically the same movement in gate pose. This side bending in your waistline. Requires a fair amount of mobility in your hips. Deep breath. So really feel as you look over one shoulder how one waistline opens up and the other one sort of, is strengthened. It's contracting. And then come to center, slide your left foot out to the left in line with your right knee. Walk your fingers forward, lower onto your elbows and bow. So a little like puppy there where your forehead's resting on the ground. Hopefully you find a place where you feel length in your inner thigh, but also feel strength in your right knee. Right? And affirm your ability to hold both. The sense of being open, but also supported. Stay with a deep breath. Climb up onto your hands, hands under your shoulders. Press into your left hand a lot. Open the right arm up. And then weave the right hand through. Do this a few times. Open and close. Deep breath. Last one. And then weave it through, land your shoulder if that works, or keep pressing into your left hand and push into the back of your right forearm if your shoulder doesn't land, or maybe you have a blanket or a pillow. Again, you won't be here very long, maybe 3 to 5 deep breaths. If your shoulder's down, crawl your left arm forward. Keep standing out of your right knee. Take 2 more deep breaths. And then bring your left hand back, press into it. Before we do that lift and lower, I realized I wanted to do hip flexion. So bring the knee back in, curl your heel tight to your bum, kick your heel straight up in the air, reach your right arm forward. And feel that sort of counter, standing out of the opposite hand and knee. Now pull your knee toward your elbow and then stretch the leg and arm out long. Do that 3 times, rounding your spine and lengthening from fingertips to toes. 1 more. Nice. And then place your hand down, bring the foot around where it was just a moment ago. Place it in line with your right knee. And a few times you're going to feel that same opposite hand and knee action here. Lift your left leg off of the ground just a few inches and place it back down. So now this works definitely more of the outer hip, but sense all the coordination, right, or the symphony of muscles that are active here. Opposite hand and knee primarily, bearing weight, and ton of course, waistline, obliques. Now place your left foot down, walk up into kneeling, side kneeling warrior, turn your left toes out. So we're getting all this mobility in your hip here. Bend and straighten a few times. And with the toes turned out, work to keep your hips square, to the edge of your mat. Nice. And then sink deep into the lunge. Press the back of your left forearm into your knee and open the right arm up. So in this big opening, right, lots of strength. You're standing out of the ground and expanding as you hug your shoulder blades together, easy neck. You feel chest expansion. Press your hips more forward. Give your glutes a good squeeze. Stand out of your right knee. Lovely. Come back up tall. Open arms. So this is for gate. Plant your left foot to the floor. Tip away and feel there's so much strength in stillness. Right? If you tip your torso on the same line as that left thigh, it's a nice long diagonal line, and you spread your wings, really everything's active. Stand out of the right knee. And as you inhale, come back up tall. And the arms will windmill kind of in unison. The left elbow bends so that you can cradle and into your hip crease, and right arm up, 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 up overhead. And then come back out of it kind of slow-mo. When you tip away, breath is smooth and steady in the background. You want to feel long waistline, strong arms. Very nice. Up and over. You might go a little further the next second time. Keep standing out of your right knee. Really strong. Last one. And this one, hold your gait. Now, everything has a job. So as you let your left forearm rest in your left hip crease, it's helping you to drop that hip down. Stand out of the right knee, press your hips forward. Anchor into the left foot so that you can soar through your right arm. Nice. And then let's feel more strength, more connection in this side. Tip away, over onto that. So this is called balancing kneeling star. Now you keep the left foot on the floor. You might have to adjust a little bit, but very softly land your right hand. So you're probably side bending a little bit. Sometimes a block is necessary under this hand. But use your core body. So don't push off the floor with your hand. Use your waistline to lift the hand and land it softly. And just feel that a few times. You got to stand strong out of the right knee. And to hover, you got to go deeper. You got to go deeper. Nice. One more time. Lovely. Bring yourself back to table. Lower your hand, bring your knee in. And tuck your toes, hips to heels. Unfold into down dog. Go ahead and pedal out your dog, bending and straightening, wag. Do anything that feels yummy here. Now for the last couple of weeks, I've been working with, just this is just a little taste of belly pumping. And I think it's really easier here because you're upside down. So if that works for you, take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Hold your breath out. Now pump your belly. And by pumping, I mean like a wave-like action. Let your belly roll and move. Don't worry if you're doing it right or not. Just suck your belly up under your ribs and push it out. Suck it up and push it out until you have to breathe. And then let go of the belly pumping and just breathe. And most importantly, I guess, we just need to be willing to feel. And that definitely helps to release tension. Walk your feet up to your hands into forward fold. Line up your feet so they're parallel. Press down strongly into whole surface of your feet. As you inhale, rise halfway. As you exhale, fold. Open your arms wide, push through your feet to soar out and up and open. And then exhale, bring your hands down. Shoulder circles, clasp your fingers, knuckles forward, chin to chest. Inhale, rise up and open. Exhale, hands back behind, clasp your fingers, knuckles down, chest up. Let's do this a few times, 2 more times. Empty your lungs as you go forward. Fill your lungs up as you lift and open. Exhale again as you hug your shoulder blades together. Inhale as you glide your knuckles down and lift your chest. 1 more time. Forward. Rise. Open. Clasp your fingers, knuckles down. Hold your knuckles down, lift your chest, and move your head around if that would feel good. Keep pressing down strong through your heels. Press your hips a little bit forward. Keep lifting your chest up. Nice. And then come back to center. Inhale, stretch both arms up. Exhale, arms forward and into squat. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands behind your back. Clasp your fingers and fold belly to thighs. Knuckles go high, high, high. Stretch your knuckles back. Inhale and come all the way up. Stand tall as you release your hands, arms up overhead. Exhale into squat. Hold your squat a little longer this time. Hips sit back. When your arms are in front, don't let it collapse your chest. Right? So pull your shoulders back. Feel broad across your chest. Drive into your heels, lift up, stretching your arms overhead. Circle both arms back behind. Clasp into Yoga Mudrasana in the awkward way this time. And then fold belly to thighs, knuckles high. Keep pressing your palms together. Even if you have to bend your elbows, press your palms together. Let your head dangle here. When you reach your knuckles up, notice how that draws your shoulders away from your ears. Stretch back through your knuckles, come all the way up. We're going to do this one more time. Sweep your arms up overhead. Exhale into a squat. Broad chest. Remember, squat is also called awkward pose. So you're feeling sitting deep, really deep. Just feel the strength in your legs, but stay long and lifted in your chest. Hold both of those sort of opposite actions. Now it's so subtle, okay? Shift into your right foot. So subtle. Unload weight out of your left foot and hover your left foot 1/8 of an inch off the ground. 1/8 of an inch off the ground. Shift into your left foot. Hover your right foot 1/8 of an inch without disturbing your breath, without collapsing your spine. Press into both feet. Come all the way up. Circle arms back behind. Clasp again in the awkward way. Knuckles down, chest up, out to go over. Fold your belly onto your thighs. Reach your knuckles really high, really high. Relax your head. Reach back again through your knuckles. Press through your feet. Release your arms. Sweep out and up and open. This time swan dive and fold all the way over. Step your left leg way back. Lower your left heel flat to the ground. Windmill your left arm forward, around and up. Side warrior. Nice. Parshva So we did this earlier kneeling. Feel it here. Balance body weight in both feet. Remember what it felt like to have the back of your hand against that front knee. Open the knee and press your left hip forward. Let's flip both palms. Let your elbows relax. Sweep your right arm straight up in the air. Bend your right elbow and walk your fingers down your back. Reach up with your left hand. Give it a little pull back toward the back of your mat. Now while you're pulling your right elbow back, reach the right knee forward. Take one more full breath. Come back up, open both arms, windmill around slow motion, land both hands to either side of your front foot, lift your back heel, float to plank. Lower your knees for a moment, lower your elbows. Elbows are right under your shoulders. Tuck your toes, you can either stay on your knees or lift your knees, press through your heels. Draw your tailbone toward your heels. Feel your pubic bone pulling toward your nose. Sweep your right fist to your left elbow. Roll to your right elbow, modified side plank. Now you can always have the bottom knee down. Stretch your left arm up in the air if it works. Reach your left arm at a 45-degree angle. Lift your left leg at a 45-degree angle. One more breath. Back to crocodile. Lower your leg, lower both elbows under your shoulders. Your choice, knees up or knees down. Smooth breath through your nose. We got to go the other way. Swivel your left fist to your right elbow. Roll to your side plank. Reach your right arm up in the air. You can reach your right arm at a high diagonal, 45 degrees. Nice. Lift your right leg if that works. Keep your head in line with your spine. Breathe deeply. Go for 45 degrees. If you lift, go for 45 degrees. Nice. Smooth breath. You feel a little bit of a struggle on how you can still be there. Gracefully. Lower right back down to crocodile where you started. Lower your knees if they're not down yet. Lower your belly. Sphinx. Spread your fingertips, lift your chest, retract your head. So pull your head back. Tops of your feet pressing down and heels point straight up. Take 2 more deep breaths. Nice. Separate your elbows, lower. Press to table. Tuck your toes, hips to heels. Get that fold. And then unfold into down dog. Breathing in and breathing out. Your choice, stay with Dirga or Ujjayi. Or if you want to do that stomach pumping, and again, it just builds, it gets rid of tension in your belly. It's a charge of energy. Take a deep breath in. Exhale through your mouth. Suck your belly up under your ribs and push it out. And you're really just moving your belly as much as you possibly can. Doesn't have to be fast, but move it. When you need to breathe, breathe, and just feel your belly. And bring your legs together, bring your feet together. Stretch your left leg really high. And bring it all the way up between your hands. Stabilize there. Lower your right foot flat. Windmill your right arm around and up into Parsva Virabhadrasana. And once you're here, gazing over your front middle finger, remember most of the warrior poses are interpreted as finding sort of this quiet confidence inside. So your breath steady in the background. Balance in your body weight through both feet. Balance in your waistline side to side. There is strength in stillness, and feel it. Flip your palms so that your elbows soften. Let your left arm stretch straight up and bend your left elbow. Walk your left fingers down your back. Reach up with your right hand, catch your left elbow, and pull up, up, up and back. Up and back. Lateral flexion in your spine. Keep bending your left knee generously. Press down into your right foot. Soft throat. Nice. And then release your hands, open. Windmill around, soft landing, really soft. That last quarter of an inch, don't fall into the ground. Land softly, lift your back heel. Step up to forward fold. Empty your lungs and dangle. You can catch hold of opposite elbows. Bring your hands to your hips, point your elbows up, lengthen your spine, press through your heels out to come up, long spine to lift. So feel the strength in your glutes to lift you up. Now stretch your left arm up next to your ear and right arm forward. So right arm out in front, left arm up next to your ear. Spread your toes. Your feet are about a hand's width apart, so you got your mountain pose. As you exhale, squat. Circle your left arm back behind you. Big circle, slow circle. Get every point in that circle. Weave your left arm underneath of your right. Hug yourself. Keep sitting deep. If you can press the back of your hands together, do that. You might hook your thumbs, or it's kind of always like a soft vine. If you want to get your wrists to wrap, they got to be loose, and just let them wrap. So you're doing more of the motion really by opening the back of your heart. You got to hug your elbows across. Now press really strong into your right foot, really strong. Lift your left foot 1/8 of an inch off of the ground. So subtle. Slow motion. Curl your heel to your bum. Stretch it back behind you. Crescent warrior. Land your left foot. Lift your elbows up. Focus. Find your drishti. Usually you're staring right at your hands, but the focus is more inward. Take 2 more deep breaths. Come back to center. Reach your elbows forward. Shift your body weight to your front foot. Oh, so gracefully. Bring the left foot back up. Press into it. And unwind all the way up. Open your arms. Clasp your fingers behind. Knuckles reach down. Chest lifts up. Stargazer. Fold your belly onto your thighs. Clasp forward fold. Remember, soften your knees enough to really sandwich your belly to your thighs. Reach your knuckles high. To come up, press back through your knuckles, forward through the crown of your head. Inhale and come all the way up. Release your arms. Nice. Right arm up next to your ear. Left arm forward. Spread your toes. Feel the ground. Sink into the ground. Sit into squat. It's another word for squat pose, or another interpretation of Utka. Utka means fierce, means awkward, means strong. So find the strength in your lower body, and then find this mobility. Let your right arm circle back behind you. Take your time. Reach it back as far as you can. And then when it comes down toward the ground, reach it low as far as you can. And when it comes up in front, cross it over your midline, under the left arm. Either hug yourself. If your elbows crisscross each other, if the left elbow goes beyond the right, then you press hands together or weave. And once you're there, press really strong into your left foot. 1/8 of an inch. So subtle. So subtle. Can you get that first little unloading? And then curl. Heel to tail. Slow motion. Stretch the leg back. Land. Rise. Smooth breath in the background. I promise you, your breath will take you there. It waters all those intentions, helps us to be with the challenges, with the difficulties. Now come forward. Reach your elbows forward. Shift your body weight to the front foot. Oh, so gracefully. Step the right foot up. Plant it. Unwind. Up, up, up. Open. Last clasp forward fold. Clasp your knuckles. Down. Chest rise. Back of your neck stays long. Fold belly to thighs. Move some air. Soft throat. Stay folded over. Let your hands come to your hips and let them drip down the sides of your legs. Now take your tap, just pat. Pat the back of your calves, pat the side of your calves. Maybe you stroke, maybe you massage and stroke up. Maybe make a little fist. Move up to your outer thighs, whatever feels good. You can, scratch. You have different sensors in your body for different touch. So a tap is going to feel different than a squeeze, and using your knuckles, that's going to feel different than your fingertips. They have special sensors that are specifically designed for all kinds of touch. Pound the back of your hips, pound the side of your hips. Bring your hands down to the ground. Step back to down dog. Soften your knees, reach your sitting bones way back. Breathing in and breathing out. You can always go to puppy. So be your last stomach pumping. If that works for you, take a very deep breath in. Out through your mouth. Hold your breath out and suck your belly up under your ribs and push it out. Move your belly. Belly is a place where we hold a ton of fear. We try to lock things down, hold it at a distance, deny it. I'm going to move your belly. Trust yourself to move your belly and move in and out of situations. When you need to breathe, lower your knees, child's pose, and breathe. Let's move into twist of the sage. So come on up, and very much like hero's pose, so you're kind of in hero's pose once you lift from child. Sweep your feet to the right and sit on your left hip. So this is a nice open twist. It's a great finisher. Right? So it feels a little cockeyed. You're sitting on your left hip. Typically you try the best you can to stack your legs. It feels very compact and awkward. If this doesn't feel good in your knees, move your knees in like a 90 degree. Okay. But lift up as tall as you can. So this waistline's usually a little bit crinkled up. We're going to try to open it. Twist toward your left. So you twist away from your legs. Turn your gaze to look over your left shoulder. Use both hands to help you to get around there. So you're pressing a little bit with your right hand, you're using your left hand to help you to lift up, 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 up. And then stay where you are, but try not to use the help of your hands. Feel how the work shifts. Easy neck. And one more deep breath. Good, and then unwind and come to center. Unfold your legs out in front. This is just thwack, kind of pop your legs on the ground still to get that stimulation through your legs. They can roll in and out. And let's get your Bhadrasana is what this is called. Fold the legs the other way, around to your left. Sit up tall as you can. And then twist away from your legs and go kind of slow. So remember, there's never a destination in life. There's always someplace else to go and something else new to explore. So it's not like the fullest expression of the pose always needs to be done, right? Sometimes a more gentle easing into it gives you a different, sensations. And maybe even different opportunities. So both hands helping you to spin around. So you go wherever you think you can, to minimize, stay there and minimize the hands. So maybe 1/8 of an inch off of the floor with that back hand. A little hover on the front knee and feel how the work shifts, bang, right to your center. One more deep breath. Nice. And then unwind and come to center. Let's come down onto your, or center yourself on the mat. Ease yourself down onto your back. Bring your knees in toward your chest. And in a happy baby, pull your knees in, catch hold of your ankles or your feet. Now when you do hip flexion, this is deep hip flexion, right? Your knees are coming towards you. It's really tempting to roll your back up off of the floor. So you can usually get more hip flexion. You can get your knees closer if you roll your bum and your low back up off the floor, but that is really not good for your low back. So maybe back off a touch. Again, sometimes we think the fullest expression is the best, and it's so not. Anchor your tailbone. And then stay in half of a happy baby on the right leg. Extend the left leg out in sort of a wide angle. So reach the left leg 45 degrees or so to the side. Easy breath. And then bend your left knee And switch. Open the right leg about 45 degrees or so, wide-angled fold, and still pulling the left knee into half the happy baby. Nice. And then bring both knees in, place your feet down on the floor, heels close to your bottom, hip extension for a bridge. Press into your heels, lift your hips up. Open your arms in T or in cactus if that's available. And once your hips are lifted, feel your knees reaching forward. It's as if someone has their fingers right behind the knee crease in your knee and giving you a gentle pull. Just sort of unwrinkle the front of your hips. Lift your pubic bone a little higher, just your pubic bone. Soften your chest. Relax your jaw. And take 2 more full breaths. Now stay with a nice soft chest. So start as high as you can. Let your breastbone sink. And then let your ribs start to roll down. It's almost like your ribs are pulling your hips down. Make sure your low back, try to articulate your lumbar spine onto the ground before your hips. Before your hips. And then let your hips land. Pause. Really yield into the support of the ground here. And then stretch your legs out long. Just a few minutes of stillness in Shavasana. And can you sense breathing for a few breaths only through your left nostril? So don't use your fingers or anything, but set your intention and your awareness only on your left nostril. And you're like, what? Maybe you feel a difference, maybe you don't, but it all starts with intention. And then switch, just for a few breaths, a few cycles of breath, all your awareness on your right nostril. Sometimes one feels more open than the other. And a lot of times we aren't even aware of which one is more dominant. And they cycle through. Now let go of all of that and just let your body breathe its own rhythm. There is strength in stillness. This pose is often referred to as being the most challenging pose of all. Especially now, since we are, in modern times, we're so used to being productive and active and on the go, and we have to matter, and things need to be done, we have places to go. But what supports all of that, are these moments, these spaces in between of stillness. Being. It is the highest yoga of all, where we let go of all the external forces. at least for a chunk of time, to connect to, you know, the subtle. In closing with a thought to take with you, hopefully through the rest of the week, since we sort of moved into a little bit more focus on pranayama today. It's from Swami Kripalu. It reminds us that whoever relies on the breath has obtained the key to yoga and has taken a good path, because the seed of pranayama will invariably grow into the tree of self-realization. And that seed of pranayama is watered every single time you feel your body being breathed. Let's take your time to move in any way that feels right to you. And ease yourself over to one side. And rock yourself up to seated. Let's close together in any comfortable seated position. And feel the ground underneath of you. It's always there to support you, no matter what the challenge and the storms that life has in store for us. Right, lift your spine. Just think of your spine as for me, it's more like a lighthouse. It's often called a staff in the storm, but like a beacon of light. Hold long and open. Bring your hands to Anjali Mudra. And as you bring your thumbs to your heart, heart to thumbs, honor yourself for carving time for this work in, right? To drop inside, to just explore more and more how we breathe, how we move, how we feel, how we struggle, how we conquer, how we continue moving, breath by breath. The seed of pranayama invariably grows into self-realization, bringing a sense of clarity to all the quandaries that life has to throw at us. So I thank you for showing up and shining bright. Namaste. Thank you all so very much for hanging out with me this morning. And bodies feel okay?
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Brenda.
Have a great day.
Thank you so
too.
much. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Caroline. Mwah. Diane, have fun out there out west.
Thank you. Will do.
Thanks, Pam.
Thank you, Pam, very much. Thanks, John.
Thanks.
Linda, feeling good now? All sweaty and lengthened and centered?
Ready for a shower.
In between.